So if we could rest inwardly and outwardly, rest, welcome yourself lovingly, kindly, sweetly, sort of saying yes to our experience, saying yes to whatever, just an open yesness. So we say yes from the yesness that we are. So it is the yesness within us, the open presence, that which perceives no issues, no problems, that welcomes itself as this experience, as this expression. So like every inhalation welcomes itself and welcomes the exhalation that welcomes itself. Invite every expression of your being, every sensation, every thought, every whatever you perceive. Invite it to your yesness. Allow whatever appears to appear, whichever way it's appearing, without involving yourself, without seeking any state, without recollecting the past, without wishing for any outcome. Being without a personal doer, without any doing. Sort of a present absence, an absent presence. That has no center. No right and wrong, no good and bad. God's presence. My presence, one presence that is not divided in, has no borders. A thought, a sensation, or a perception appears within the spaciousness of awareness. Like a bird appearing in the wide open sky. You are this open presence, aware. The passing bird appears to you out of you, out of yourself, out of this aware presence. You remain as you are, transparent, unmoved, formless, edgeless. Whatever is happening is an impression that appears within this borderless presence. Intimately, you, what we refer to as I, is not something which appears and disappears. You, this aware presence, you do not appear within a body or within a brain or within a thought which appear to you. whenever you, this aware presence, imagine and believe yourself to be somebody you experience the hells of separation, the sense of isolation, the sense of lack, and the fear of extinction. You return into the cocoon of personhood. You return into the realm of conditionality, cause and effect. You return into the realm of past trauma and future hopes. Whenever your true nature is veiled by your belief that you are mortal, you are unhappy. Sooner or later, you realize, the sooner the better, that your destiny is God, that there is no external power that is imposing upon you the irrational belief in mortality and separation. Sooner or later, you come to the edge of your cocoon where you realize there are no edges. that all along unhappiness and separation were your mind's impression, a false impression, because nowhere will you find this separate entity that you imagine yourself to be. The capacity to comprehend and to discriminate is alive within you. Available to you. The key is in your hand, and there is no door. here. Well, if you have any questions, anything that you would like to share, please make sure you unmute your mic and you can turn on your video so we can see each other, which is quite lovely. It's always lovely. So, any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Yes, hello, Richard.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say that thank you for the beautiful meditation. And you had such a wonderful turn of phrase. The key is in your hand, and there is no door. And I don't know if you need to say anything more about that. I just wanted to say thank you. That really just helped me to, I guess, turn a lock that wasn't there. It really was very helpful. Thank you so much for those words and for all the words.
I think this is a case where nothing can be added, Richard.
Yes, I think you're right.
Any questions?
Hello.
Hello, Anna.
Um, so I tell the story that if I'm established in this truth, then like circumstances in my life would be simple to deal with and resolve. So then, because I'm not established, there's a lot of doubt that comes up. When things come up. So is the first assertion true? I don't even know what the word assertion means. Is the first thing, like, is that assumption? The first assumption, is that true?
So, if I'm established in truth, in reality, in my true nature, then my life would be easier, happier, more harmonious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it would just, okay.
Right. So, when you are dreaming that you're a little girl that's being chased by a lion, and you don't know it's a dream, the dream is known as a nightmare. But when you know that you are not a dream character, the dream that you have is no longer of a little girl being chased by a lion. A dream, but it's a sweet dream. So the answer to your question is yes, but yes, being established in our true nature ends the sense of separation, the sense of lack, the unhappiness, the nightmare aspect of our life, brings it to an end. But you are not defined by your dream. That which is real isn't improved or isn't deteriorated by the dream. That which is real across the board. And there is only one reality. There is nothing external to that reality. There isn't a person out there or people out there who are having individual experiences. In fact, there is a mind impression. There is let's say, instead of a mind expression, let's say that there is a consciousness impression. That would be a better way of saying it. There is a consciousness impression that there is a world and that there is a body and that there are individual minds. In other words, it is that which is real that remains real, although within itself there are waves and currents. There are waves, meaning there are bodies and worlds and universes, and there are currents, meaning thoughts, feelings, and sensations.
Okay, time out. The world and the people are a consciousness impression.
Yes, that's
You
one
said, okay.
way of saying it. Yes, consciousness take on the form of the ocean, the waves of the ocean.
Okay. So is it silly to try to have a sweet dream?
The sweet dream, the recognition that there are no separate waves out of the ocean, away from the ocean. There's not a separate reality, a wave reality and an ocean reality. That there isn't a current reality and the ocean reality. There is just a reality, one reality, whether you call it ocean or water in this metaphor. It's one reality. So the sweet dream goes hand in hand with knowing that there is nothing at stake and nothing to fear. Nothing at stake meaning, or nothing lacking, meaning there's nothing incomplete, nothing to seek, that there is nothing outside of yourself that you can attain or obtain. And the end of fear is knowing that you do not exist in time, meaning there is no beginning and ending to you. The birth and death, the cycle of birth and death doesn't apply to you. You being the reality of consciousness. So as long as you're experiencing yourself as a person, as a daughter, a mother, a friend, a woman, whatever, as long as you consider yourself as a person, you are bound to live in worry about the lion chasing you and in concern about your health and wealth. Now, the feeling that you are a person, a daughter or a neighbor, whatever, that feeling goes hand in hand with the belief that consciousness is a person, that consciousness is limited, is personal, exists within the body mind or is dependent on the body mind. While consciousness is, you could say, is free. It's not that belief is a false belief that requires your inquiry into your understanding of what the true significance, the true what I truly refers to. That I does not refer to a history, to a story, or to a series of images, or to some objects. I refers to itself, to consciousness. And that consciousness, I, knows itself, knows it is, and knows it's aware. It knows itself. See, the error is that when we say I, we're imagining Amna or Magdi. That's the play of mirrors. That's the veil right there. When you say I, you slip into the false reference. It's an add-on. We add on to I a false referent. A false reference.
When you said like consciousness being dependent on the body, it's like I see that consciousness is not dependent on the body. Then when you started talking about I not referring to images or a person, then it was like then it was like there's like a like a physical reaction to that, and thoughts that are like, yeah, it is like I am this person.
So you can only be this person by referring to the past. You cannot be a person by referring to now.
Okay, okay, so the thought that came up was like, yes, I can. Just looking. There's a body. There are sensations.
Yes.
I'm perceiving and communicating through this body.
So where is the past? Where is Amna in that? Where is the I am the body? Yes. So I'm perceiving the hand right now. I look in the mirror, I perceive an image right now.
That's a good question.
Where does the I am this image, or I am Amna, or whatever, I am a woman. You have to refer to the.
Yeah, so my proof is images.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right. So my proof are images.
You're perceiving this perception now.
Yes.
But without referring to the, let's say without reference to the past. Then there is silence. Or one could say, if one wants to speak, that there is awareness or presence that's not separate from this image. The image is, so sometimes I say, this awareness taken on the form of this, without awareness becoming anything.
Well, the thought comes and says, that's me.
But what does it refer to when it says me? It's referring to the past.
Yeah.
And it's a random, it's random. Well, what I mean by it's random is that, let's say that there's a mental situation in your brain and you believe you are a bird. Okay, 1 in a million. All right, fine. It's 1 in a million. So then when you look at this, when you look at your experience, you see this image and then you say, oh, I'm a bird. It's random, but it refers to the past.
When you say it refers to the past, like it's an like are you saying it's an image that of the past, or it's an image that passed?
When you say I am Amna, you're referring to belief. You're referring to some position that you have taken. I don't know, maybe you took it, maybe you're still taking it, a position that you've taken over time. And you keep living the past. You keep referring your current experience to this belief. Like there are some people that believe they're part of the Wazaza tribe. Whenever they look at each other, they say, oh, we are the Wazaza tribe.
Yeah.
In fact, it's not their experience that they're the Wazaza tribe. It's their belief, and therefore their feeling. They feel that they're all members of the Wazaza tribe. There's nothing wrong with believing that you're a member of the Wazaza tribe. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that that's not reality. That's not.
What's their experience? You said that's not their experience, that they're part of the Wazaza tribe. Can you say more?
Not different from your experience, which is consciousness. Their reality and your reality are not true. There is only one reality.
Use the R word.
You cannot argue with reality.
Okay, so their truth and my truth are the same.
Well, how many truths are there?
One truth,
There is
I think.
Every person has their truth. That's very interesting. That's why we have law and order. That's why we need the troops to dominate us.
Okay, but could you go back to, so
because
members of the Wazaza tribe.
We were referring to truth. We would not need external control because we would all know the truth. And this is what this planet needs. It needs to refer to truth, not to govern laws. I mean, okay, look, I'm not outlaw, okay, but I'm just saying that truth is absolute. Law is relative. I mean, look how the law is being manipulated. This guy gets away with murder. This other guy, he's a friend of this friend of that friend. And this friend, he is pardoned. Law and disorder.
Okay.
Anyway.
So I want to, okay. So going back to the Wazaza tribe.
Yes.
Okay. Their experience, they say we're part of the Wazaza tribe, but their actual experience is not that. What's their actual experience?
What is your actual experience?
What is my actual experience? perception.
Well, yeah. Okay. So there is, okay. So we're categorizing our experience now. We're basically looking at the sky and saying, well, there is gray, blue, white. There is sensation, perception, meditation. Okay, there is gray, blue, white. But what else?
So when you say, what's your experience? My experience is awareness.
Yes. Because across the board, your experience is awareness.
Yeah, but that's not like satisfying.
When you're looking
Like,
at the blue
sorry.
and when you're looking at the blue sky, it's awareness. When you're looking at the gray cloud, it's awareness. When you're looking at the white cloud, it's awareness. Consciousness.
Okay, I see that. But it's not like I see it and that's like whatever.
You don't need to see it. Simply, you need to realize that whenever you're referring to yourself as something, you're referring to yourself as something that you're experiencing, as something you're perceiving. When you refer yourself as Amna, you're referring to yourself as a set of memories, images, sensations, which you perceive. Secondly, whenever you're referring yourself as Amna, you're referring yourself as a limited consciousness, because Amna is a limited body mind, limited. On what basis are you making this jump from I from consciousness to limit? I mean, how are you, on what grounds are you moving from consciousness to it's dependent on the body, or it is dependent on thought, or it is contained within the thought, or it is defined by a body?
Because, okay, these are because I experience this body, I don't experience other bodies, and I experience this mind, and I don't experience other minds.
Okay, the fact that you experience this particular perception right now doesn't mean that which perceives this perception is in any way whatsoever defined or
No.
described by the perception it's perceiving.
No.
So you're saying that the fact that I'm perceiving this perception and not perceiving those perceptions.
But I'm always just perceiving this perception. Like, it's always through this, like I'm always perceiving Amna's body, or through Amna's body, and like Amna's thoughts and Amna's emotions and Amna's sensations. It's not like one day I'm experiencing this and then another day I'm experiencing Magdi's.
Mm-hmm. But still, this does not mean this does not prove that which always experiences the same dream. Every night you go to sleep and you dream that you are a heron. Every night, the same heron for 50,000 years. You go to sleep, you're dreaming you're the same heron. This does not mean that the heron, first, that you are the heron, or that the heron in any way defines or describes or determines you, that which is dreaming of this
You're
heron,
right.
that is perceiving that same heron.
I actually had that when I was little. I would dream the same dream, being chased by a lion, actually. 'Cause, like, it was for a long time, I would have that same dream.
Also, you know that the same I, the same consciousness that was aware of the first toy that you received when you were a little child. And you know it's the same I that is the same I that is right now, the same I that perceived the first time you drove a car. It was the same. And you know it's the same awareness that perceived the thought that appeared to you 5 minutes ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet you don't remember any of them. Well, almost any of you don't remember, right?
Yeah.
You don't remember what you had for breakfast in June 15, 2004. You don't.
Yeah.
So, and yet, you were the witness of that, right?
Yes. Well, hold on, time out. I just want to process.
Yes. It's the same awareness, the same.
Yeah.
You woke up this morning and it shows what clothes to wear. It's the same awareness that's right now is hearing these words, right?
Mm-hmm.
So awareness does not change across time, and although it's perceiving all perceptions across time, it doesn't care to remember them or to store them or to condense them all. It doesn't. But yet it's there. So awareness is there across time. That's our experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's more difficult, maybe, to now consider the same consciousness across space.
Like with other, like
Across
when you
space.
said,
Across
meaning what?
space. Here is California, and there it's was it Indiana or yes,
Yeah.
Indiana. Across space. It's more difficult to sort of make this jump, and yet there has been experiences of most of us, are aware of experiences of sort of synchronicity or déjà vu, or you, you think of somebody that you haven't seen in 10 years, and a few minutes later the phone rings and they're calling you. This sort of experience, where usually we say, oh, that was quite a coincidence, but I don't consider that a coincidence. I consider it of an instance, an example of consciousness across space?
Well, I want to get the first one first. Like, I just want to.
Oh, across time.
Yeah. Like, I want to live from that.
You want me to speak more about it?
Sure. Like, at one point in our conversation, it's like I see that, and then, but it's like there's nothing to it.
Yeah, there's nothing to it, but it's quite significant. The body-mind changes, but consciousness doesn't. It's the same consciousness when the body-mind was 12 years old, or when the body-mind was 15 years old, or when the body-mind is 30 years old. It's the same consciousness, the same awareness. Huh?
Well, this is like a side question, but I'm really curious. So, like, I was eating cookies yesterday, and like aware that the sensation dissipated. Like, what is it that experiences that and notices that?
Right.
And wants more? Is it all the same?
Well, as a way of speaking, there's only one reality. So if there is any noticing, any real noticing, it has to be ascertained to that one reality. Because what would be an illusory noticing? An illusory noticing is no noticing at all. So from a reasoning point of view, whatever is real is perceived by whatever is real. Is that simple? Are you on board with that? That the illusory cannot perceive the real?
Yeah.
Okay. And the illusory.
But the real can perceive the illusory.
Yes, the real can perceive the illusory, and the real can perceive the real because it is the real. So, so given there is one reality, whatever is illusory can only be this one reality taken on the form of an illusion. You follow that?
Okay, time out.
Given there is one reality.
Okay, so wait. Given that there's one awareness, I'm translating in my head.
Okay, one awareness, one consciousness.
Okay, given the, yeah.
Whatever is illusory can only refer to that one awareness taken on the form of an illusion.
Okay.
So coming back to what is it that perceives the illusion, or what is it that perceives? Awareness perceiving the illusion as itself, because the illusion must refer to the you don't want to use the word, must refer to awareness.
What does refer to means?
Refer to means the experience. Okay, the sound vibrations refer to whichever way your brain processes these vibrations, and those brain activity refers to whatever mind images arise, and the mind images refer to whatever perceives them. So refers to means, actually it means it's reality. It's
Source.
source. It's source. Like your dream, when you dream you're a heron, okay? The white heron that appears to you refers to your dream. And your dream refers to you, the dreamer.
Okay.
So coming back to perception. Okay, coming back to perception. The false cannot perceive. Illusion cannot perceive.
Yeah.
Only awareness can perceive. It can perceive the illusion. It can also perceive itself, meaning it knows itself. Forget about perceiving itself, knows itself. Now, given that awareness is the only reality, therefore the illusion is just is that one reality taken on the form of an illusion. Because there is one reality.
Yeah.
So the illusion, you could say, refers to the world, body, mind. In other words, when we say illusion, we're talking about that which appears and disappears, the world, body, mind. And awareness is the reality of the world, body, mind. And awareness is not a concept. It refers to our experience, to what we are. It refers to I. Oh, Holger wrote, refer equal relate and belong. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Holger. Relate and belong. Yes. So,
Okay, so
the thought and the images that appear to you, they refer to awareness. So awareness is not defined by the illusion. It's not defined by the currents. The ocean is not defined by the currents or the waves. You, awareness, are not defined by the body, by your perception, by your feelings, by your thoughts, by your memories, by your preferences.
So in the example of the cookies, like awareness is the background. Then there's the cookies, there's the experience of the cookies, there's like the thought of I want more cookies.
A thought appears to you, more cookies, and you look at the thought and you say, no, that's good enough. And you say, yes, a couple more.
I said yeah. It was just really cool to notice that the experience just like was really quick. I was like, huh.
Yeah. Guilty as accused. Yeah.
It was, yeah. It was like literally like seconds where this.
I know Tara
like,
keeps an eye on me. She keeps an eye on me.
I was just remembering when you said like the pleasure. It's pleasure. It's not happiness, and it's not like absolute. It's
There's nothing wrong.
like relative.
There's nothing wrong with pleasure, as long as we are not trying to squeeze happiness out of pleasure.
It was really interesting trying to make it last. It's like you gotta eat more, and then you get to a point where you can't eat any more cookies.
Right,
You gotta find something else.
Yes. So this is something that we take a look at every now and then, because there are tendencies in the body mind to sort of keep returning to the realm of sensation, and you have to sort of take a look at that, but that's a different question.
I think it's this, well, just the noticing that you can't find it in the sensations.
It's a maybe a temporary hiding place, hiding from oneself.
Hiding from oneself, hiding from oneself as awareness.
Yes. We still want to experience.
Can't you experience while knowing your awareness?
Not before, but after. I'm exaggerating. Yes, of course. Actually, most often that's our experience. Most often, we're not like constantly experiencing the sense of separation. You know, at least it may be very low, a low hum. We couldn't live for too long with the sense of separation loud, because we would go nuts. So yes, we do experience a lot of things in our life without the sense of separation, with the sense of separation while the sense of separation is taking a siesta. But once the sense of separation is dead, then you can make all the noise you want.
So it's not so much interested in experiencing, because you experience an awareness, but like experiencing the sense of separation.
Yes.
Right?
Right. This belief that's there, you know, that is, we need to, how do you say, we need to unbury it, you know, that belief. We need to sort of look at it, you know, get to the roots of it, that I am this bundle of thoughts and memories and experiences and events and social conditions and personal experiences, etc., that I am that. I, referring to consciousness, that consciousness is defined by the world, body, mind experiences. We need to take a look at that. So that we come to clarity that the reality of our experience is the eternity of presence. It's not a story in time and space. The story in time and space there's no problem with that, but we're not that we are, let's say, the screen or the space where the story, you know, the story can unfold. But our presence, the presence that we are, doesn't depend on the story. In other words, if the story stops, we don't go, oh my God, I stopped. The screen doesn't stop when the movie stops. The screen remains. The ocean doesn't, when there is a calm, there are no more waves and no currents, the ocean doesn't cease.
I mean, I experience that when I'm sleeping.
Yes, well, even now you haven't ceased. You haven't ceased right now. I mean, if you experience not ceasing while you're asleep, I mean, right now you haven't ceased. And 5 minutes ago, you haven't ceased, and you never cease.
No, I meant like there wasn't like when I'm in deep sleep and the story of Amna isn't there.
Well,
Like
yes, in deep sleep, the story of Amna is on pause.
thank God.
Huh?
I said thank God.
In the waking state, the story of Amna is Amna pause, Amna pause, Amna story pause, story pause, story pause. There is a pause also in the waking state, but we don't. It's not pressed for too long.
Yeah.
That's one way of saying it. Okay. Another way of saying it is that, in fact, in the waking state, there is the pause, and there is the story, and the pause is sort of taking on the form of a story. But the story of Amna is not an issue. Believing that I am Amna, believing that I refers to Amna, is is a different matter. The story of the Roman Empire doesn't matter, but the belief that I am a Roman soldier or whatever, I mean, the belief that I am a Roman is what we are talking about. And, one could say that our business is to free ourselves from ignorance. It's much more important business than putting money in the bank, Our business is that. So and it's not just for us, it's for the entire, it's for ignorance across the board, because consciousness has no borders. So our business, when we become clear that oh, hey, wait a minute, this is serious business here, we have to do what it takes to live that understanding, and to keep investigating that unhappiness. I mean, the what's going on here? What is the cause of the unhappiness? What am I doing? What is my participation? Because in a way, I am participating. You see, but if I'm not participating, then maybe I'm not unhappy. I mean, if there is madness in the world and you're not participating to that madness, why would you be unhappy? You're not participating. There's madness in the world. It's a weather. It's part of the weather. I'm going to look at Richard's question. Yes. So Richard, you're right. Magdi, there is distinction between belief and ignorance. Can one have genuine belief in the truth, or is knowledge experience the only authentic way to relate to truth?
Magdi, I don't want to stop Amna's question. I just typed it. I wouldn't forget it, so I can wait. Certainly.
Okay. That's very, very kind, Richard. Amna, did you?
No, you can. Thank you, Richard. You can go with Richard.
I just wanted to type it so I wouldn't forget. There's no rush, believe me.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm not, so we're still together if you want to follow up. So yeah, so the distinction between belief and ignorance. So belief, in belief there is ignorance, yeah? I mean, so it depends what the belief is about, So of course we believe that the earth was the center of the universe. It was ignorance meaning it was not based on facts. So when the facts came in, you would have been lucky if the facts came in correct according to your belief. You would have been then I would go with you to Las Vegas. Make sure we go together to Las Vegas. Whatever you put your money, I put my money with you. But so belief is ignorance. It depends what the topic is, but it's not based on fact, on evidence. Now, there is, of course, in our conversations, we have a particular topic. The topic is truth or reality or consciousness. So we are in the university of truth, of consciousness, of peace and happiness. This is our university. Holger, maybe we can put that as one of the university of. So you ask, can one have genuine belief in the truth? Now belief, Richard. So belief is not substantiated by evidence yet. So to have a belief in truth, I wouldn't use that word. You could, let's say, have trust in the teaching. Is because you have some sort of intuition. You may have an intuition and a certain resonance, but maybe not the direct experience yet, but something within you is pointing in that direction. So it's not so much a belief in truth. Let me see, something happened. Let me stay with me. Oops. Let me see what happened. Are we still together? Yes, something happened on my screen. Okay, no problem.
I can see you, hear you.
Okay, so that was something else that happened. Oh, no problem. Yes, so right. So I wouldn't use the word genuine and belief in the same sentence.
Yes, that's sort of what I was trying to ask. It seems like any belief is, as you say, it's not based on evidence, and maybe it's lucky or maybe it's not, but it's almost irrelevant. But then, which in some ways makes sense, but then I was also trying to find a way to describe if there is such a thing. Many of us here don't have the knowledge of what you just talk about in a firsthand experiential way. But I think for myself, like, I have trust in the truth of what you say.
But we also have
Right.
an inner intuition, and we have an inner intuition about consciousness, about reality. And that there is one reality. It's not something we can really prove. It's something that we have sort of a sense of, an inner sense of. And the experience of peace and happiness that is absolute seals the deal. So it's not just sort of believing what I'm saying, because soon enough you would be bored with what I'm saying. I mean, it's that there is a resonance within you. You see, it's more than sort of trusting and believing. So when we are listening to the truth, when we're exploring the truth together, it's like we're caressing our own baby. We have our own baby in our arms, caressing our own baby. I don't know, these weird images that arise, but that's what arose. We say, is knowledge, experience the only authentic way to relate to truth? The authenticity of of consciousness is your experience first. Above all, we are. I I is. I mean, we are consciousness. Above all, we are that. So it's just like, you know, the story of the prodigal son, that we somehow, we are traveling in the world, and we forgot our home, but we still are the king's son, or the king's daughter, the king and queen's daughter. So as the recollection arises for us, we get insights into, oh, you know, we get flashes of our castle, you know, we get flashes. These flashes are not like mirages, you know, they're not like perceiving, and they're internal revelations, the experience of understanding. So that becomes more and more your proof to yourself. And the certainty of the direction in which you are traveling becomes more and more solid, more and more confident, and more clear to you that yes.
Yeah, in some ways we're worse off than the prodigal son, because at least that character knew enough to go back and say, oh, you know, I should go back and just ask for forgiveness and say I was wrong. We forgot we ever left. We don't even, you know, we forgot there's a home. You know, we're even worse.
But now we are recollecting, you see.
Yes, yes, that's right. We have to remember we have to even remember the problem in the first place. You know, an answer somewhere.
Because now we are talking about God's castle. So we're talking about our Father's castle. So yeah, we are absolutely, with the conversation we're having now is, one could say, the recollection, you know. And,
thank you, Magdi. I was just thinking about that, and I'll think about more about what you said too. I like to just kind of get your thoughts and chew on it, and then ask some more as I think.
Yeah. So that, I mean, the main thing is ignorance about our true nature. That's the main issue, you know, that we have is to, you know, the belief in being a separate existence, a separate manifestation. And the experience of unhappiness that comes hand in hand with that. And, you know, I would say that if you're going to believe in anything, might as well believe in truth. I mean, what's the other option? Believe in falsehood? In an illusion? I would say, okay, you know, somebody tells me this is the truth. I hang out around this person for a while, blah, blah, blah. I ask questions and say, okay, I still say, okay, fine. I'm going to give it a try. You know, after maybe I don't have too much to go on, but I can risk. And the proof of the pudding is that as you hang out, as you travel in a certain direction, that the happiness in your life increases, the peace and happiness. It may not be sudden, like, oh, you know, suddenly I'm free of jealousy or no, it's after a while, it takes a while, you know, it's, oh, you see, I'm less disturbed. I still get disturbed, but it's not that frequent, or not that loud. My disturbance is not that loud, doesn't last that long.
That's the trust. Just seeing, you know, as you're seeing, experiencing the dissolution. But yeah, go ahead, Holger. Sorry.
It's both a trust, and also it becomes your experience. You start noticing, So you will notice that in your life there are these changes that have taken place. You may notice them after the fact. Holger?
Can I say something?
Yes, yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, yes, Holger.
Okay,
Oh.
sorry. I just belief to me, I mean, to invest myself in beliefs, there I see the problem that I need to think in order to keep the belief alive. I cannot relax. I mean, a belief needs a certain mental activity on my side because it lives only in thinking. It's a belief.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time relaxing my belief because then I'm afraid I'm losing my belief. I mean,
yeah, right. So we have to have regular party meetings. Pleasure allegiance. Okay. I'm not going to.
I remembered something else. I just from the Bible, it just says, and without faith, it is impossible to please consciousness.
Yes.
So there is belief, and then there's also faith, which is still a kind of, I don't know, but still together with the intuition, maybe more, that I'm at the right place at the right time.
Yes. Yeah, faith arises from a different place than from our mind, from our thoughts, our beliefs. I remember when I was a young boy, I was in a boarding school, and they had this was built in the 1800 something, out of stone, very majestic, and the church looked like a small cathedral, and so I didn't like to go so much. They make you do all these things you need and whatever, but sometimes I would go in there, and there would be the darkness, and there would be just a red. They have a red light burning by the altar. A red, I don't know, and it inspired in me a certain. It's like it hit a little chord within me of love, of piety, piety. Is that no? Pious,
Piety.
piety. Is that an English word? Piety, of piety, and sprinkled. I'm not, piety. I don't remember the last time I used that word, but I wonder where these words come from. They just sort of appear. Piety. Yeah, it was really. It had an effect. I don't know. It sort of felt. So faith, I think that the faith comes from that place where we know what we are, the place of what we truly are. That's sort of my sense of it.
And it's just so beautiful to listen to you and Amna and
everybody is so beautiful.
I don't even, yeah, everybody. It's because it's all the same reality, just in different appearances.
Yes.
Trying to remember itself again.
Yes.
And I was so long trapped in my own expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I had that I would need to get some kind of enlightenment, or that just echoes from the past.
Yes. 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 That if I do something at some time, I will you know, and somehow the message that, you know, that I am this, the freedom of being, you know, that the transparency of being, the peace, the love, that is, and we get to the sense of that, to sort of to that recognition, and then it sort of dissolves time. It sort of wipes out time. It says it doesn't say, and then, or, you know, later on. It doesn't say that. It's like complete. It's complete in itself.
At one point, I had the feeling like I would need to betray myself in favor of truth. Like I need to betray my old ideas that made me. Like,
I need to betray the liar.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
belong,
yes,
I
yes,
belong to,
exactly,
I
exactly.
belong to the group of thieves. I'm not gonna be. I feel like I have.
Yes. Yeah, this was in there. Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh boy. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I see in Amna, I see so much beauty and intelligence. I mean, it's amazing. It's just wonderful in everyone. And with you, Magdi, sorry, you are so sharp like a lion. I mean, so you really can get to the point. And in other moments, you're like a teddy bear. I mean, there is such a broad spectrum. I really can resonate, and it's wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes, Amna.
Okay, so the first thing when you were talking to Richard, well, first, thank you, Holger. Yeah, when you were talking to Richard and you said, if you're going to believe in anything, believe in the truth.
Yes.
And I was just noticing, I was like, yeah, but then there are moments where it's like, I'm afraid of even the truth. It's like, I'm like desperately trying to hold on to something, like wanting it to be true. So that's just like something I noticed. And then the question, when you and I were talking earlier and you said to live from that understanding, like that I am awareness. How?
Well, you follow the path of peace and happiness. You know, happiness for everybody. Happiness, you know, that is not about the fictitious me. So there is a discrimination in your life. You know, if you don't develop the discrimination, you will confuse pleasure for happiness. The discrimination.
I get caught up in the pleasure really quick, like really quick. And then comes pain with it, and I get caught up. Oh man, I just remembered you saying you actually don't get caught up in it. Seems like I get caught up in it.
You know, you have to visit the places of beauty, the places that refer to consciousness, refer to truth, refer to love. You know, when you visit a city, you visit their beautiful museums, their beautiful parks, you visit their beautiful theaters, the opera, or you hear about really nice restaurant that serve organic vegetarian food. Hint, hint. And so it's up to you, you know, it's up to you. I mean, you're not a victim, you know,
So every time I'm choosing the pleasure over.
yes, of course, you choose. An image arises to you, a certain sensation arises to you, you say yes. There has, even if you don't notice you saying yes, pay attention. You say yes, yes, yes. And I'm not anti-pleasure or anti-enjoyment and anti-celebrations, part of life. But from the way I understand your question, is the addictive aspect, or the sort of looking in that direction for happiness, you know. It doesn't. And you have to get it. You know, if you have to get it, that's not the direction of happiness. It's the direction of sensation and possible addiction.
I was referring to uh like the pleasure of being a person, of identifying as a person, of getting caught up in the story of me.
What pleasure do you find in that? What's the pleasure there? That I'm loved, I'm liked, I'm popular, I'm pretty, I'm intelligent. Is that what you mean by, you know, like images and of me that are like positive things, you know?
Yeah, or even like the images of me of like I'm gonna get it, or I'm gonna achieve what I want. Yeah.
I mean, there is a practical aspect to life, you know, and there is enjoyment in that, in achieving certain situations in life that provide a certain comfort, a certain ease.
There's like a different sensation to it when it's about me achieving it rather than like that wholesome sensation. It's like eating French fries and feeling sick even while you're eating them, like if you're indulging on them.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
when the whatever you're pursuing, you know, in life, whatever you want to achieve or you're trying to achieve, um, you know, carries with it some unhappiness. Then it makes sense to take a look at that. Okay, sometimes you have to make some compromise uh, and engage in certain activities that are not like on the top of your list, you know, for the time being. For whatever reason, there may be situations where you have to do that. But then an ongoing unhappiness in your life, in whatever you're doing, whatever you're engaging in, should call your attention to you know, well, how come you're proceeding? You're proceeding further and further in that direction. Is there a sense like, you know, of powerlessness or victimhood, or and yeah, if you're referring to yourself as, you know, somebody subject to conditions, that you are the body mind subject to conditions. It's true that the body mind is subject to conditions, but when you're referring to yourself as the body mind that is subject to conditions, you're going to experience the ups and downs of the conditions that are arising for the body mind. So that's something that I would take a look at. What's my identity? What am I identifying myself as? And so that situation in your life may be an opportunity. If there are situations in your life that are sort of unhappy or difficult, maybe an opportunity for you to contemplate, to look at what assumptions do you have about yourself. But otherwise, you know, in terms of wanting to achieve, you know, certain goals and certain objectives in your life, they're fine. They're part of what we do, as long as we are open to the infinite possibilities, meaning whichever way the universe is going to unfold. And when we are open to infinite possibilities, there is a certain freedom and certain relaxation in how we're engaging, in a certain sense of humor and lightness, and sort of, you know, you are in the canoe, you are canoeing, but there's also the river and the current. So there are forces that are happening in the world, in your life. You're navigating the best you can, but there's nothing at stake. I think that's important to sort of look at. There is an interest, even maybe a passion in a certain direction, but nothing at stake. So engaging in you know, in certain pursuits in your life and having certain goals and wanting to achieve those goals is not an objection. There's no objection to that.
So it's kind of like an immature pianist that wants to be like really awesome at playing the piano, but then being open to like that not happening and it being okay, like that.
Of course, I mean, you know, if I'm interested, I'm going to do my best to save money and go to the best training school and put, you know, get a good instrument and have somebody who tunes it really good. Yeah, I will do my best. But yes, being open to how things will go. I may end up being, that may be a different direction. I may end up being a guide in Paris, guiding Japanese people, Japanese tourists. We never know.
So the original question was like how to live from awareness, and that like I get caught up in the pleasure of like the story of me.
There's nothing wrong with pleasure as long as it doesn't become your end goal. Your end goal is peace and happiness. And whatever comes, goes. So if your end goal is pleasure, then you are confusing God with pleasure. The end goal is one. This is happiness. And end goal, I don't mean end like later. Happiness now. I mean, so living as peace and happiness is exploring what is peace and happiness now. And so peace and truth, they're not two. There cannot be peace and falsehood. Peace and truth are one. This is why we're contemplating truth or reality or the reality of consciousness. So, and peace is peace and truth and happiness are not three. They're one. They're different aspects of the same diamond, of the same jewel. You know, the colors of the rainbow, different colors of the rainbow. They're all the one rainbow. Peace, happiness, wisdom, freedom, truth, reality. So how to live, according to peace and happiness is to not make peace and happiness temporary experiences.
So I'm not going to have the session.
Yeah.
Whether it's talking about
It's still going.
not to objectify peace and happiness, not to make like an experience, a food experience, a sexual experience, a monetary experience, a relational experience, but to recognize that peace and happiness is what we are, and peace isn't, or true nature isn't fighting for something. I mean, it may argue for something, of course, but it's not experiencing that I must have this or else. I mean, negotiate really hard my contract, with my client. But it's not like I must, this must happen or else, because that's fear. So you have to be sensitive to when you're assuming yourself to be a separate consciousness that depends on something, meaning that happiness depends on something. It depends on my parents, it depends on my job, it depends on relationship, it depends on what's going to happen tomorrow. Because whatever depends on something else is temporary because of the dependency, the law of the dependency. So you relax, you have to relax your body, mind in the moment, and invite yourself to operate from a place of relaxation. Trust the relaxation. I mean, we love relaxing. When you're tired, we lie down on the couch, put our feet up. Darn, it's good, right? So relaxation is nice. Even when we sit in the chair, we rest our backs. So trust the inner relaxation of the body mind. Inwardly. Doesn't mean that you are a robot. No, you may be active. You may be engaged. The mind may be engaged in the activity. The body may be engaged in activity. But inwardly, you are restful. So you explore that. It's an exploration, you know. It's not like, oh my God, I've got to get it right, you know, to pass the exam. Yes, Holger.
I just had a, oh,
What-
sorry.
No. What was extremely powerful for me, Magdi, you gave us a pointer. You said, who is invested in this feeling right now? Or something like this, you said. You said, when there comes an uncomfortable feeling or something, ask yourself, who is invested in this? I don't remember the exact words, but this was such an amazing invitation to not be afraid and to really look at my discomfort, because intuitively I know this is wrong. I mean, there's a liar in this moment. Yeah. And this was just such a nice way to see that, that how I entertain my own suffering.
Yeah. You know, the old false assumption about myself, you know. This is why there is a progress and understanding brings some change, you know. We're getting understanding about ourselves, about our true nature, what we thought we were, the old paradigm of the old me paradigm. It may arise, you know, but because of our interest now, there is a space to perceive it, to see it, to see the trickster, to see the trickster and say, oh. Not again and again and again. So you laugh, you giggle a little bit, you know, you giggle, right? Okay, well, very beautiful to be with you all. Thank you, Richard and Marga. Esther, hello, Esther. Isa, hello, Isa. Hola, Jenny. Anna. Maru, hola, Maru.
Hola, thank you.
Yes, and Gloria and Jessica, I'm not sure. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you all.